Running on Air by 117, Chapter 2, Part 1. Harry looks harder. Malfoy left Alops, the original detective noted. No other witnesses. There's an interview with Malfoy's wife, Astoria Greengrass, who reported Malfoy missing after he didn't return home for the night. Typical interview, Harry thinks, reading the transcript. Astoria appeared in a state of distress and proved to be of little use. Nevertheless, he reads it again and again, visits the Pensieve again and again, until he has it memorized, until he knows the script by heart.
How may I help you? I am in need of an owl. Speed is less important than accuracy.
The shopkeeper playing his role as a typical post-war man meeting a post-war Death Eater. Clipped words and stiff body language that says, I know who you are, but I'm too civil to point it out. Draco Malfoy is playing his role too. Can't appear too brash or demanding, Harry thinks, watching Malfoy for the 10th time as he reaches for an owl. Must show just the right amount of deference. It's there in the polite neutrality of his voice, in the way he keeps his body language small and contained. Not drawing attention, not making bold or sweeping gestures.
I know who I am too, and I'm tired of people pointing it out.
He watches the memory again, 11 times in total, and it's going nowhere. This is the hardest part of solving cases, Harry thinks. Getting started. Looking for something, but nobody knows what it is. Like trying to find a book without knowing the title or the author. Books. Hermione. He decides to visit her tomorrow night. You want my help? Hermione knows he thinks as soon as she sees him standing in her fireplace. Runs away on an overnight stakeout. Nevertheless, dinner's cooking over the kitchen hearth, and Harry assumes he's invited to stay without a word from Hermione.
You're the smartest witch I know.
Don't start, she says with a laugh. I hear that all the time from Ron when he needs help tracing a dark artifact or potion. Harry gives a wry smile and steps into the room, setting the file down on the kitchen table. He may as well get to the point, he thinks. They know each other too well to spend time dancing about a topic.
Draco Malfoy.
Hermione starts. What? You saw him?
Oh, I didn't. That's a problem.
Her brow creases, if only for a moment, then she glances at the file and remembers. Oh, Harry, she says, looking exacerbated. They didn't assign you that file, surely? He nods and pulls out a chair, sitting down. Oh, honestly, Hermione sighs. You'd think they'd have a bit more sense. Well, if you ask Holdsworth for file transfer, I'm sure.
I can be objective, you know,
Harry says, faintly annoyed.
This is my job, after all, solving cases.
Hermione looks at him, raises her eyebrows, and then turns round to busy herself with the kettle. Tea?
You don't believe me?
Yes, I do. Tea?
Yes, thanks,
Harry says warily.
Listen, Hermione.
I said I believe you, didn't I? Now, what do you need help with? She puts a teaspoon of sugar into a mug and turns around, glancing at him. Defeated, he lets her look through the file. She scans it, looking increasingly surprised as she reads on.
Well,
he says when she's done. She glances up at him. Well, truthfully, I'm rather surprised. I always assumed Malfoy disappeared to some luxurious holiday destination just to escape his old life. But this?
I know.
Harry stares down at the table, fingers tracing patterns in the wood.
Sounds like a forced disappearance, doesn't it?
Hermione's arm twitches slightly, as if remembering the souvenir Bellatrix torture left behind. Forced disappearance. The words the Ministry liked to use during Voldemort's reign. It sounded so much nicer than abduction or murder. Have you visited Alops? She asks.
Multiple times. I'm not sure what else the memory can give me.
Not the memory, the story itself. Harry frowns.
You think there's something left there?
No, Hermione says, but it might offer a new perspective. She taps the file. Would you mind if I access the memory? Maybe I'll find something you missed. Harry adds silently. Hermione's too tactful to say the words herself.
I haven't got a problem, Harry says, but Holsworth might. Confidentiality and all that. Long as you don't tell anyone you saw the memory, I'll be fine.
You know I won't. Hermione straightens up suddenly and glances towards the kitchen. Oh, tea's getting cold. Harry settles back in the chair, glancing at the files. He wishes Hermione had more concrete suggestions, but he's not coming up with anything better. A new perspective. The silver bell chimes gently as Harry enters the shop, and he is struck by a profound sense of déjà vu. By the counter, the grey-haired shopkeeper glances up.
May I help you?
He asks bluntly. Harry's taken a polyjuice potion, selected randomly from the wide stock of ministry potions for the sake of avoiding recognition. It's easier this way when he's investigating witnesses. And will him help him? He's so stuck in the memory that he repeats the first thing that comes to mind.
I am in need of an owl. Speed is less important than accuracy.
He blinks, feeling unsettled by the taste of foreign words in his mouth, singing a song that isn't his.
We have several eagle owls that have demonstrated geographical accuracy,
the shopkeeper says, leading Harry over to the collection of owls. The shop hasn't changed at all, Harry thinks, letting the shopkeeper continue his sales pitch. The same narrow windows illuminate the shop with the same sunlight, although it's slightly less bright, in its late summer glow rather than the weak rays of September. The boxes of supplies clutter the shop, and the owls ruffle their feathers overhead along the routes. Could question the shopkeeper, but it's unlikely he could give any further details. Besides, it's been 5 years, and Draco Malfoy was simply another customer.
Our owls self-deliver,
the shopkeeper says, noticing Harry staring at a golden-eyed eagle owl.
You can pick them up later, or simply write your address and await delivery.
Harry starts. The shopkeeper looks at him with surprise.
I am looking for an owl,
Harry says, softening the blow of a lost sale.
But I'm also investigating a cold case at the moment.
He holds up a badge, grateful. It has his reference number rather than his name.
Draco Malfoy.
The shopkeeper stares at him blankly. Then,
Oh, him. Look, I've already given a memory, and I'm afraid I hardly remember the incident at all now. Just a quick question, that's all,
Harry says.
Regarding the owl he purchased, did it ever return to the shop? I don't recall. Do you have records? I'm afraid we destroyed records of sale after 12 months.
The shopkeeper gives Harry a peculiar look, and he realizes his hair is slowly darkening to black again. He fumbles for the flask of polyjuice potion and takes another swig. The shopkeeper gives the flask a very suspicious look.
Are you drinking on the job?
He demands.
What's your name? I'll report you, you know. Potion for my dragon pox,
Harry retorts, and the shopkeeper retreats very hastily. Harry purchases a box of owl treats at least, leaving a handful of nuts on the counter, and disappears out the door. The silver bell chimes softly behind him. He pauses a moment, tempted to try and trace Malfoy's step, but besides turning left, he has no idea where Malfoy went. He goes home instead. Coming home is effortless to other people. They come home in the same way they draw breath, or take a step, or glance up at the stars when they're beneath the night sky. Coming home is a journey learned by rote, committed to the memory of their heart. Take a turn here, a corner there, 10 steps to the front door, and then they're home. To Harry, it's a weary journey that he must think about, and he's painfully, consciously aware of the exact measurement of the home to which he's going. A 2-bedroom apartment in Westminster, polished and sleek, commanding a modest view over the skyline of southwest London. It had cost an uncomfortable amount of money, but it was in an ideal location. Perfect as a home base for Ginny, who had to frequently travel across the United Kingdom for her Quidditch matches. And as she had said when she first booked an inspection for the apartment, the perfect place for Harry, so close to the ministry. He apparates to the front door and unlocks it with a wave of his wand. Inside, the lights are on and the wizarding wireless is playing. For a moment, Harry's heart lifts. Too often has he returned to a dark, empty apartment to find Ginny's practice has run overtime.
"Harry!"
Ginny calls from the bedroom.
"I'm at last. Normally, I'm the one doing overtime."
He walks to the bedroom and sets his messenger bag, stuffed full of files, on the floor. His heart slowly sinks again. Ginny is flurrying around the room, her red hair splaying around her in a vibrant splash of colors. She turns and grins at him, her freckles scrunching up like handfuls of sand.
"Guess what?"
He doesn't have to guess. Judging by the amount of Quidditch gear she's shoving into her bag and looking at the little wash bag sitting on her bedside table, her team won their first match of the season.
"Congratulations, Jenny,"
he says.
"I'm sorry I couldn't make the game." "Only preliminaries,"
she says easily.
"We're playing the Margaret Rovers on Saturday." "Well, that's not too far away,"
Harry says, eyeing the overnight bag. Ginny pauses halfway through, wrapping up her shin guards, and looks apologetic.
"I'll be leaving tonight, though, so we can practice all tomorrow on the Margaret pitch."
She grabs a practice quaffle and shoves it into the bag.
"Oh, how'd your case go?"
"Good. Close to Fenwick one."
"Did you? Brilliant."
Ginny grabs her bag.
"Check it on the table if you can make it to the game. Love ye."
She reaches for the portkey on the bed, an empty Jemmy Dodgers packet, and whirls away in the blink of an eye. Harry sits on the edge of the bed and listens to the silence. It seems amplified by the white walls, the endless expanse of glossy floorboards, the kitchen in which they never cook. He falls back slowly until he's lying down on the bed and stares at the ceiling. That night, Harry dreams. He's in the memory again. The soft rustle of feathers overhead, the sound of talons against wood. Draco Malfoy walks into the shop. Something is different. Harry tilts his head, frowning. The shop seems a little brighter somehow. Did someone light a candle? A lantern? No, the sunlight, he thinks. It's fiercer, as if it's the light of a summer day. And the shopkeeper, his face seems different somehow, as if slightly more lined. His robes, too, seem somehow more worn, more creased.
"How may I help you?" "I am in need of an owl. Speed is less important than accuracy."
Harry walks up to Malfoy.
"Look for clues,"
he thinks vaguely. But he's looked at this scene so many times. There's a slight pause in conversation between Malfoy and the shopkeeper. Harry, aware of the unusual silence, frowns and lifts his gaze. Malfoy is staring at him. Harry's eyes widen for a moment before he remembers it's just a memory. Malfoy isn't looking at him. He's looking through him. Then Malfoy glances down at his own hand. Harry automatically follows his gaze. There is nothing particularly interesting about Malfoy's hand, he thinks. He glances back up again, but Malfoy's already looking at something else. Another owl. Harry wakes, feeling unnerved. Now he even dreams about the memory, it seems. He reaches for the glass of water usually kept on his bedside table. Then he pauses, eyes glazing slightly. Malfoy's hand. He wasn't wearing a ring. A wedding ring. It wasn't there. Hermione looks around the owlery. She'd agreed to visit Pensieve memory with him, if only for Harry to demonstrate his success. He looks thin, she'd observed of Malfoy, but Harry had quickly shushed her.
"Look, in a few seconds he'll glance at his hand. I can't believe I didn't notice earlier. Any moment."
They wait. Malfoy looks at the owls, nods, points at one. Harry frowns.
"He should have already."
But before they know it, Malfoy has finished the sale and left. Hermione gives Harry an apologetic look. "Well, you probably noticed it subconsciously, and your dream planted the information there for you."
"I guess."
"Anyway," Hermione says encouragingly, "this is a start. What do you think it means?"
"What, not wearing his ring? I don't know. Could mean anything. Maybe his marriage was falling apart. Maybe he lost the ring. Maybe he just doesn't like wearing it.
Maybe he was getting it resized because of recent weight loss, Hermione says, and Harry wishes he'd thought of that.
That is actually a good point,
he admits. Nevertheless, he steps out of the memory, looks up the contact address for Astoria, last updated in the file 3 years ago. He hopes it hasn't changed. To be continued. Thank you for listening to today's chapter of Running on Air. I really hope you liked the story so far. I really love this story and I'm really happy to share it with you. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you're always up to date, and I will hear you very soon.